Takumi Minamino. Recently, he actually said that he was feeling unimportant at the club, that he wasn't within his own body. I don't know if that was a translation thing, but I guess sort of happened like that. Yeah, he just wasn't feeling in a good position with Liverpool. And to Minamino's credit, he hasn't really spoken out about Liverpool that much and how he dislikes his position. But after that quote, it has been revealed that Monaco have agreed a deal worth 15.5 million with Liverpool to sign Takumi Minamino. Jack, it finally looks like this transfer is happening. He's obviously been linked with a lot of Premier League clubs. It looks like we're going to be making about 7-8 million on him. It's a good deal, but it is sad to see him leave, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And to me, it doesn't make sense. If he goes and you're not signing another forward, you're just kind of hamstringing yourself for no apparent reason. I mean, if he's pining to go, fair. It's fine to let him go. He was a big contributor to the 2 trophies we won last year. But for what he was able to bring, he went through, clearly as it appears from his comments, physical turmoil, physical struggle, but he was still top class when he had those brief moments he had to appear, which is such a remarkable testament. You talk about backup goalkeepers and how they have to always prepare, always train as if they're going to start their matches, and then come match day, they're sitting on the bench watching. That was him week in, week out, pushing these forwards that he just seemingly could not knock off for the big matches. And he did get dealt a bit of a bad hand in that regard, because did any of us, or did Klopp, or did anybody really give him a chance to knock off one of the forwards to start? He was almost always, when he was signed, acknowledged as a backup. I don't think that was a wrong decision, but you can definitely imagine the mental toll and difficulty that can have. If we're not bringing anyone in, it makes no sense to sell him. And if we're selling him because he wants to go, we need to sign somebody, because his impact was huge. And losing him, and I agree with Jen's comment, losing him and keeping Oxlade, just not good decision making for me. If he goes to Monaco, I think he could kill it. In there as a 10-15 goal a season in the league player. He got 10 goals with very little game time at Liverpool. He could really, really do well in a side that has a front three or a front four that has a lot of tight interplay behind the lines, because he looked really good in that Southampton match where he was able to combine with Jota and Firmino really well. So I'm interested with what his next move in his career looks like. I'm sad it won't be at Liverpool, it appears, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, Tino, it is a bit, we have to replace 10 goals at the end of the day, don't we? We've brought in Fabio Carvalho. Will he play a similar position to him? Who knows? But it does seem like we need to replace him, doesn't it?
It feels that way. You can't lose Divock and then Takumi Minamino and not actually replace those, even though they may not have played a whole bunch of games, but when they came on as that backup in the cups competitions, you lose a lot, because it allows your front three, it allows the rest of the main starting team to rest and to heal up, because we play a lot of games every single season. So to not bring someone in, I think, is the wrong decision. You look at his Liverpool career, I don't think anybody really expected him to come in and actually push the front three for a starting spot. I really don't. I think he'd have been mad if he was thinking he could come in instantly and actually challenge for a first team spot. I don't think he's good enough. But as a player coming off the bench, as a player who you've got as a backup when you need him in the cup competitions, it's so important to have those players in the squad. And I think the fact that he's only just come out recently and said, listen, I want to play first team football, I'm not getting any younger. I think, as we've explained, it's a testament to his attitude and how he's worked within the club and in training. He's never complained. He's never come out in the media, in the press. I think that's a testament to who he is as a person. I think the deal as a whole is a positive one. Whether we're evidently selling him, we're making a profit on his transfer fee. We're looking at we've talked about previously the financial benefit and commercial benefit he brings as someone from Asia, and the market that allows us to have a wider access to it. I don't think the transfer is a bad one. It's just I don't think he's impressed, or I don't think anybody expected him to come in and instantly start challenging and be that one of the world-class players we have. But it's one of those kind of mediocre transfers in my mind. It's worked out. It's done well. We've made a profit on him, and he's seems like a nice guy, and he's got a great attitude. But it's just he isn't going to instantly push for a starting spot. He was never that type of signing.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, it's a bit like, you can't sniff up at the fee. It's a great fee for somebody, but you look at next season, we're going to be having 5 subs, 9 people on the bench. It does hurt Liverpool's depth. And you're not really going to find anyone who's going to be willing to sit on the bench. Like, he wasn't willing to do it. He wasn't happy with it. But he did it, and he did it quite well, didn't he?
Can I be honest? I'm not really asked about him leaving at all. Like, I know a lot of lads on our channel really like him, but I'd never have him starting against a City or a Chelsea or a United or a Derby. I wouldn't put him there any of them games to start, and even coming off the bench, I'd pick other people over him. It's very rare he was even in the Premier League squad, and I understand his contributions in the Cups, great, but who are we playing? We never played anyone in the Cups. We played City, but he didn't play. So that goes to show what people thought of him, really. You can play against the Championship or League One side or a struggling side, great, but 17 million or 15 million for him, mate, we've absolutely smashed it. I'd well rather see a kid playing in them League Cup games like Kay Gordon, or Elliott was injured a lot. He can play on that right-hand side instead of the right in midfield. So I've got to be honest, mate, I'm really, really not bothered by it. He's done a good job when he was asked to, but I'd never play him in a big game, personally.
I agree with that sentiment, Jay, and I hope the guy we signed to replace him, or whoever steps up to replace him, there is a trust for that big game, because you can't have guys like Salah or Diaz or Nunez feel like their spots in these big contests are just a given, because that's how you get the complacency that sometimes you get. But I agree. Like, did you ever think Taki actually had a chance for starting one of those matches? No. He may appear for like 5 minutes, but Klopp didn't trust him, and that was evident. And I hope that he gets someone he does trust, because that's an important role that I think could really lead to an improvement.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not going to go around and ask everybody the favourite Takumi Minamino moment, because there's not many to choose from. But yeah, I think I'll sum it up. It's I don't think anyone would be bothered if he stayed, but for 15.5 million, you can't really turn that down for someone we paid 7-8 million for. So, and I'm sure he will do very good in Monaco next season. Never know, maybe challenging Kylian Mbappe to the Golden Boot.